What's up, everybody? If you guys are just tuning into this channel for the first time, my name is Chakits. I'm a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I get tons of calls all the time with people who actually have a property. They're not too sure if they should rent out the property or should they actually sell the property. Here's the thing, when it comes to investment properties, it really comes down to your situation. But what we're going to do today is I recently just got done on my first flip property, so make sure to check that out in the link in the description below. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my property and we're going to make the determination if we should sell the property or rent out the property right after this. Alright guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. So let's figure this out, okay? We just got done rehabbing our property. Like I said, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out that video, I'm going to have a link in the description below. Now the question is, should I sell the property or should I rent out the property? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at two sides, right? The benefits and the negatives of selling, and the benefits and the negative of renting the property. So let's take a look at the first one here. We're going to focus on selling. So now I'm going to give you a scenario of what is taking place with the current property that I have, okay? We actually acquired the property at $110,000. That was actually our purchase price. Our total rehab cost on this home was $50,000. Now I really went over budget because I literally thought it was going to cost me $25,000. And I went completely over, so I was wrong on that. So check out that video. That was actually a fun video. A lot of you guys had a lot of great comments on it. Didn't think I could do it, and you guys are actually absolutely right. So our total investment, cash out of pocket for this flip property was actually $160,000. That's right, $160,000. Now, when I just did the recent video of the final walkthrough of that property, right, we had so many comments. And a lot of people enjoyed that video because they were thinking of renting or even buying that property. And what was great about that, it was once I released that video, check this out. The comps were at about 230. I had people calling me that day wanting to buy the property for $240,000. But I initially was thinking about renting out that property for $1,500. So again, I wasn't too sure, and that's why we're here right now. So if we take a look at this, okay? If I decided to sell, right, escrow fees and closing costs would be a total of $5,000. Now, the reason why this is low is because I'm a real estate agent myself, and I can go out and get my own buyers. And like I said, I had a lot of calls on that property for all cash at $240,000. So now that we are at $240,000, let's just say if I did sell it, my net profit from $165,000 minus $240,000 would give me a total profit of $75,000, right? Now we have to really take a look at this because we want to see what the rate of return is, right? Because based upon the rate of return, we're going to use that as a barometer to kind of gauge of what my cash is doing. So rate of return is basically how much money you put out into the deal, right? And how fast is your money working for you, okay? So let me give you an example here. We're going to net $75,000. Cash out of pocket of my own cash is $165,000 to complete this deal. So if you take $75,000 divided by $160,000, the rate of return is a 45% return. Okay? It only took me 4 months to do this. So remember, what is the stock market's giving you right now? Probably like 8%, but that's annually. So I'm literally making 45% on my money within 4 months. That's like unheard of. But the deals are out there. You just got to find those type of deals. Now, this looks great and all that. However, there's more. Okay? So, unfortunately, I am very blessed and I make very good money. Unfortunately, I'm in a higher tax bracket. So you got to take a look at your tax bracket, right? See exactly where you stand, because You may get into the flip business, you're making money, but you also got to pay taxes. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. Right, Rudy?
Yes.
So let's take a look at this. My tax bracket, the IRS is anus raping me right now for 39% on my tax bracket. So if I got to pay taxes on $75,000 at 39%, I'm paying almost $30,000. This is $29,250 that I'm getting butt plugged right now from the IRS. So my true net that I'm actually making off this deal is $45,750,000. So this is where you need to really take a look. I can make $45,000 in 4 months, but then you also got to take a look at exactly how much money you actually make from your primary income source, right? Because this is not my primary income source. This is just a third, secondary, whatever income source that we have, because we have multiple streams of income. So the question is, do I make more money than this a month? Yes, I do. So is it really worth it for me to sell? Yes and no. But that's where I want you guys to really really think about this, because when you call somebody or you talk to somebody or talk to an investor and you're asking them a question, should I buy or should I sell or should I rent out the property? You really got to take a look at your financial situation. And that's what this is really about, okay? So now, if we take $45,700, right? Take that number, because that's the true net that I'm actually taking home after paying my taxes. $45,700 divided by $165,000. That's my true investment into this deal. I'm still netting 28%. That's still a hell of a return. So the question here is, does this make sense to sell it? Hell yeah, it makes sense. But then if I go back here, based upon my current income or what I make a month, if you're already making, let's just say $200,000, $300,000 a month, this is chump change. But here's the thing, if you're only making like $5,000 a month, then this also may make sense, especially if you're just getting started in your real estate investment career. Because when it comes to real estate, it's all about accumulating as many properties as possible, right? Then you have a portfolio, but you got to take a look at every single property. Sometimes it's a good time to sell, sometimes it's not. So now, let's do this, okay? Now that we have all the numbers involved, and let's kind of recap here, okay? So to recap here, I make $75,000, but I'm paying taxes on a 39%, depending on your tax bracket. Mine is 39%. As you can see, I'm only netting $45,750, which gives me a true rate of return, all right? ROI, which is a 28%. So now, let's take a look on the other side. Let's see if I should even rent out the property. Now, let's focus on here. If we take a look right now, the rental comps in the neighborhood, right, is $1,500 a month. But there's also carrying costs. Remember, I purchased this condo for $160,000, all cash, all in. So let's take a look at this. So we have carrying costs, okay? And what are carrying costs? These are expenses every month just to hold on to the property, right? It's like doing business. So carrying costs. One of my carrying costs I have here is HOAs, which is costing me $178 a month. However, it also includes water, sewage, and trash, right? It says a trash, it should be and trash. So mess that part up. Don't mind that. But if you guys want to criticize in the comments, go ahead. I'm okay with that. It definitely helps out the algorithm. And also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up too as well. Now, we also hired a property management. And the reason why is because I'm to the point into the career of my point. I just don't have time to manage these properties already. So I have a great management company. They charge a total of 8% of the $1,500, right? So that is $120 a month. I also have insurance on the home, which you should have insurance, right? Now, we'll get into more insurance in a couple episodes. We may do something like that because that's a whole different ballgame when it comes to insurance. Now, my total carrying cost right now is $338 a month, right? Now, if we take that and we minus that from the $1,500, my total cash flow now is $1,600. Did I say 1,600, Rudy?
Yeah.
You big dummy.
Yeah.
It's actually my total cash flow is $1,162 a month. that's not bad. However, it also depending on how much money you make a month, you may look at this and just say, hey, you know what? This is not that much, and I understand. So this is where you have to really identify, are you trying to make quick cash every single month, or do you want to actually create wealth? There's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. So that's something that you need to ask yourself and take into consideration. This right here is very slow, but the more and more you get, the better it is in the long run. Now, because I'm making $1,162 a month in cash flow, to get the rate of return, right, the ROI, we want to calculate that. We really need to take this and divide this by 12, or actually times it by 12, right? So it gives us a total of $13,944 yearly cash flow. So this home is going to produce me almost $14,000 a year. Now, if we take a look at that, $13,944 divided by my total investment, $160,000, my rate of return here is only 8.7%. It's not as high as the 28% on selling the home. But remember, now we're talking about wealth versus being rich, okay? But there's more. Now the downside of this is because now that you take $160,000 and that may be all you have that's cash, right? How long is it going to take you to get your $160,000 back? Well, if you take $160,000 divided by $13,944, for me to get my initial investment back is going to take me 11 and a half years. Okay? You see how all of this is working, Rudy?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now, let's take a look at this data, right? We're going to come here. We're going to start plugging some things in because I want you to really take a look at this and see how this thing is really looking here. So let's take a look at this. On the selling side, the plus here is that we're going to make $75K on this flip within 4 months, right? That is a 45% ROI. That's what I'm getting on my money, my return. Now let's take a look on the rental side. The rental side, this is what I'm making. $13,944 yearly, okay? And that is a 8.7% return. So if we take a look at this, I can sell it now and make $75,000, or I can keep the property and for the rest of my life make $14,000 with a 8.7% return. So what this says here is it really depends on your financial situation and where you are at in life, okay? So if I was just getting started in flipping properties and I needed to make money and this was going to be my primary business, I'd probably go with this route because I'm going to take this money and go back out into the marketplace and find another flip and to start accumulating and stacking as much cash flow as possible, right? So that way I can buy rental properties to build future wealth, okay? So again, it really depends. Now, if you already have the money, then this probably makes sense for you. Because imagine if you had 10 of these properties, you're making $140,000 a year, and your money's working for you, right? I mean, that's got to be the best feeling ever. Now, there's also some downsides. So let's take a look at the downsides. I'm going to break it down. So going back to the selling side here, okay? Unfortunately, I'm in a higher tax bracket. So the number that you see here, $75,000 cash, I'm really not making that. Also, if you are an investor and you're flipping properties like this, you got carrying costs, you also got to pay taxes, and this is where they beat you up on this, okay? So, because I'm in a 39% tax bracket, I'm really only making $45,750, which is a 28% return, which is still great. Reason why we have this here is because I want to show you the reality of things, okay? Because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Now, the negative thing about rentals, okay? I invested $160,000 into this deal. If that's the only capital you have, for you to get your money back, right? that is going to be 11 and a half years just to get your money back. So again, now you need to make that determination. If you're not really that much liquid, you may want to go back to this. Okay? If you're liquid, then this is okay. So now, the scenario I want you to do, or I want you to think about is, if you were in my position right now, let me know in the comments, what would you do at this point? Would you sell, or would you actually rent out your property? Okay? Let me know. Now let's take a look at this. Because I'm paying taxes on here, and I'm losing about $29,000, right? What can you do? Well, with my situation, because I'm paying high in taxes, this $75,000 cash, guess what we can do? A 1031 exchange. What is a 1031 exchange? The capital gains on here of that $75,000 that I would have to pay the taxes on, I could take this deal, roll it over into another deal, defer the capital gains to get into a bigger, better property that's going to yield me more money. So this is also good. See, what I'm doing here is, I'm not trying to confuse you. I really want you to start to think, because when it comes to the investment game, it's all about the money, right? It's all about knowing the game and how to play the game. It's how to leverage out your money, okay? And look, at the end of the day, I ain't your real estate professional. I'm just an average guy like you going through the process. And as I'm going through the process, I'm just sharing the information that I've learned along the way, okay? Now, what can we do on the rental side? Okay, we got what we call the BRRRR method. I'm sure you guys seen that before. Okay, so the BRRRR method is this. Well, let me write this out here. Couple R's. Okay, so the BRRRR method. This is BRRRR. Okay, what the BRRRR method is, you'll see investors do this all the time. Okay, especially with cash flow properties. They'll buy the property, okay? They'll also rehab the property, okay? After they rehab the property, they will rent out the property. As they are renting out the property, they're going to refinance the property. After they refinance the property, they're going to repeat the process. Okay, so that's the BRRRR method. Okay, so the benefit of this is, I'm in it for $160,000. We know it appraises for $240,000. I take out $160,000 of my money. The rate of return from 8.7% is now infinity. So now I got all my money out of the deal, $160,000. I have a free property. But it's no longer cash flowing me $13,000 or $14,000 a year. I may only make $2,000 because now I have a mortgage. Okay? So you see how that works? So this is why it's so important that you guys really, don't just go out there and ask somebody, what should I do? Look at the whole picture and kind of figure it out for yourself based upon your current financial situation. So guys, I'm thinking about renting out the property myself. And eventually I'm going to end up doing the BRRRR strategy. If you guys like this content and want more content like this and want to do the numbers on the BRRRR strategy to see if I should actually do the BRRRR strategy, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Other than that, till next time, peace!